Hi, Jason here, jazzpianoclub.com. So we've got a lesson today on the modes. Now you're probably very familiar with the modes, the Lydian, the Phrygian and so on, but this is a slightly different way of looking at them. We often just kind of see them laid out in the key of C. So stay tuned and see how you get on following this through. The modes done using the cycle of fifths. Let's get started. So I'm looking at the PDF sheet in front of me. It's actually a really useful tool to have, the modes laid out in this slightly different approach, plus also there's the cycle of fifths there. And that's going to make sense using that, talking about the modes. Now traditionally, a lot of the textbooks, we're looking at the modes of C, and it's C here, often called Ionian, Dorian's here, Phrygian's here, and so on, Lydian, Mixolydian, all the way up to the top. But we're just kind of getting this snapshot. Now, as useful as that is in a key, if I'm in the key of C major, and I build up a chord on each degree of the scale, then useful to know that that C major Dorian is here. But we end up just kind of sometimes being not confused, but just thinking, well, that's just all the white notes. And often we don't take this any further. Now, a different approach. This is not right or wrong. This is just the other side of the story. It's really good to look at it both ways. So I'm going to use a cycle of fifths to find my first mode. And if we go clockwise around the cycle of fifths, I can get that C in there so you can see C to G to D to A to E to B to F sharp. That's this really bright, expanding sound. And if I take those notes and make a scale from that sequence, C to G to D to A to E to B to F sharp, then there we have, and obviously the root at the top, the Lydian, the brightest mode. In reverse, if we go anti-clockwise from C to F to B flat to E flat to A flat to D flat and finally to G flat, not F sharp, from C to F to B flat to E flat to A flat to D flat to G flat, then we have everything kind of opposite. This is the dullest, everything is flattened here. So Locrian, polar opposite of Lydian, everything bright, everything flattened there, and everything in between then can be done in a specific order. So let's go back and find Lydian, the brightest mode. Now, to progressively get to Locrian, I'm going to start flattening notes, but not at random. So if I take it a chunk to the left and start flattening notes, can you see that to the left of C is F? So the F sharp becomes F natural. That gives me major. Then B flat gives me Mixolydian. Then E flat to give me Dorian, Aeolian, Phrygian, and then finally the G to the G flat, giving me Locrian. So that's a logical way going from the brightest mode, and I can do the corresponding left-hand chords. I can work these out. Obviously, major 7 for Lydian. The criteria is I've got to pass through these notes. So that will be true of the next mode in this order, Ionian. When I get to Mixolydian though, the next note to go is the B flat, so I have to match that in the left hand with the dominant chord. Then Dorian, the next three are minor. Dorian with the A natural there. And then Aeolian, same minor voicing, but... And Phrygian, technically this is a sus chord, but let's, for the sake of this kind of exercise, we go through the E flat, the G, the B flat. But the last one we do need to Locrian with the F sharp there. You can also do this as a little exercise to practice your scales like this. So I could start with a Lydian, then to major Ionian, then Mixolydian, and Dorian. Aeolian is up next. Then Phrygian. And finally, Locrian. You can hear that sound going from the brightest mode to the dullest using this cycle of fifths. So hopefully that's been useful It's a different way of looking at it. I think it's really useful to remain on the same starting note to compare these modes, and then you can maybe a little bit clearly see how they fit: major, dominant, minor. Can you see that? That is from brightest progressively to dullest, that sound of the chord. But then it's only 1/12 of the story if you were to do all of that in a different key. So you could use the cycle of fifths slightly differently to reset. We could do all of that in F. So F, Lydian would be the brightest, to major, to Mixolydian, to Dorian, to Aeolian, to Phrygian, to Locrian at the end. I hope that makes sense. I'm just kind of using the same principle. But it's logical from your first scale that, can you see this way? I'll just do it one more time for you, of seeing progressively how I end up. It's a very logical going round the cycle to progressively flatten notes to go from the brightest Lydian to Locrian, the dullest. So hopefully that's just an interesting way of looking at the modes from this key center. The PDF I'm looking at, you can download that for free on the website. It's just a really great thing just to kind of pin up maybe in front of your keyboard when you do some practice. And as I say, you can take that around the cycle to explore different key centers. So good luck with all of that. I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't thought about the modes like that from the sort of tonic starting point, do all the modes in one key, and we obviously explored the key of C, and then you could see how you can work your way around the cycle doing those modes in every key. Just that slightly different snapshot kind of view of that. You know, it's great as well to see them within a key, you know, the modes of C, you know, based on the scale. But as well as that, this way of looking at them from a key center sometimes just kind of helps clarify that. There's going to be more lessons on the modes and how to use them. But for now, thank you for watching this video. And if you can give it a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, then you'll know when the next one comes out. I look forward to seeing you next time at jazzpianoclub.com. Bye for now and have a great rest of your day.